healthy lifestyle. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Yes, welcome back. Today I have a video for you that I am actually excited to share. I think especially after sharing my video where I was very open and vulnerable about my health journey, or at least an overview of it. Sharing this probably won't be too much of a shocker, but I think you could find it helpful anyways, okay? So don't forget to like and subscribe right down there. Let's get into this. How my healthy lifestyle journey is different now than it was 5 years ago. One way in which my lifestyle looks different is in terms of counting calories. 5 years ago, I was obsessed with counting calories and tracked everything. For example, coffee. For those of you who've maybe counted calories or know the amount of calories in a black coffee, it's like next to nothing. I would count that. Literally every single thing I had counted, to the fact that to this day, sadly, I have a pretty good superpower of knowing around how many calories most things are going to be. I'm not saying it's something I'm proud of. I'm just saying when you do it for so long, you get really good at knowing how many calories are in what food. Now I really do the best that I can to not do that. One thing is not putting it in the calorie counter. By just not doing it, I'm not thinking about it as much. There was a time period where I said I'm only going to have this many calories, and when I reached my limit, that was my limit. It's amazing when you're not writing it down or counting it or thinking about it, how less stressful your life is. Also, how less obsessed you become with food. Now, compared to 5 years, looks a lot different. You can look at my fitness pal and see I have not tracked things in quite a long time. Compared to then, I would track it obsessively, as well as just counting in general. What I'm about to say is not saying that you should eat this many calories, but just knowing my body, I probably eat about 2,000 calories on average. Sometimes a little bit less, probably not much less, sometimes more, 22. Like I just stop eating once I'm full, and my body kind of knows how much it needs. That's what our body does. And so it's nice to not have to think, okay, I have to write this in so I get to this specific number, and instead just knowing, hey, I'm probably gonna eat around this much because that's just what my body needs and that's what it's used to. Number 2, being anxious at gatherings. Ooh, you know, you either have a problem or you're training for something. I was not the second, I was the first. When going to gatherings causes anxiety, and not in the social way. Some people have social anxiety. This is more anxiety because you know there's gonna be tons and tons of food, delicious food you're gonna wanna try, and yet you don't wanna eat any of it because you're kind of afraid of it. Again, this is different if you have allergies, but for the average person who is going through this, it's normally because they have an unhealthy relationship to food. I don't think there's anything wrong if you're trying to change and have healthier habits to say, hey, I'm gonna bring some extra vegetables with me, or I am trying to identify what foods I'm allergic to, so I'm going to bring my own thing. But for me, it was neither one of those. It was this idea of, okay, I want to look this specific way. I'm finding my worth in this specific number on the scale. And so therefore, to get to that, I can only eat this, this, and this, and I can't eat this, this, and this. And so I just hated gatherings. I hated them. It was all consuming in the fact that I really had to plan ahead of time. And while I was there, I was constantly thinking, okay, I can eat this much, or I shouldn't eat this, I should avoid that. Okay, I've probably had enough. It was just very stressful. And if you're anything like myself, I'm an extrovert. I love hanging out with people. I love gatherings. I love food. So this was just not fun. Number 3 is when I was much smaller than I am now. I thought I was huge. Any change in the scale just made me so anxious and made me feel like, okay, I need to restrict more food or I'm doing something wrong. Our body fluctuates every single day throughout the day. That would just make me so anxious. Compared to now, 5 years later, right before the new year, I said, you know what? I don't weigh myself very often, but I'm gonna weigh it now just to get an idea for this new year what I'm coming into. And I weighed more than I did a couple years ago, and honestly, I had no clue. I felt fine about it. My body's just changed in different ways, and yes, I weigh more now than I did a few years ago, but I'm not stressed about it. Number 4. This one is very significant, and I could even tell at the time. Because I was restricting the food I was eating, I was working out too much, I overworked my body, and I just wasn't getting the amount of sleep I needed, aka I was not having a well-rounded life. My body was so exhausted and I was sick all the time. I just easily could get colds. I often would just go, and then need to just rest for like a week straight because my body felt pretty weak, which then just felt really defeating once I started working out. And so it was this like boomerang effect. I felt defeated because I had to rest. My body wouldn't let me work out anymore. But then I would come back and try to give it my all instead of easing into it, which then made me, again, quickly go back to being sick. So I was just sick constantly, like always having colds, always low on energy because my body wasn't getting the rest it needed. I don't want to jinx myself. Knock on wood. Knock on the wall. I haven't been sick very much, and I really, really try my best to say, okay, I'm starting to see these symptoms of getting a cold or just feeling exhausted or needing some additional rest, and then I take it because I don't want to have to take it for 10 days when I could do it for 2 or 3 days. And the last one, which you probably already got from some of the other things I said, but I think it needs its own point because it is so significant. And that is that 5 years ago, I was obsessed with my healthy lifestyle, especially in terms of my diet, and it consumed me. Yes, now you probably see me post a lot, both on YouTube and on Instagram and on Facebook, but internally, I don't get consumed with it like I did 5 years ago. It's something now I talk about because I love and I'm excited. I was just always consumed with what I should or shouldn't eat, how much I have already eaten, what I can eat the next day. Is this making me bloat? Is this gonna cause me to have acne? Is this gonna make me fat? I literally thought about it all the time. I feel so much better with where I am now. I can eat a dessert and I feel fine. I can go to a friend's house, enjoy their meal, and not think twice. I still genuinely know what foods will make my body feel worse. Dairy, not the best thing for me. So you start to learn those things, and those are the things you want to take away and learn from. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I am so glad I was able to share this with you. If you feel similar to me at all in any of these, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to hear your story. I would love to be there to add some encouragement. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.